Welcome back for another video. So we've just looked at last season's Champions FPL team. Today I'm going to do you one better. We're going to look at the teams of 4 FPL World Champions. On top of that, tomorrow I'll also be posting my latest FPL team, so make sure you subscribe for all the free content to help you out. The Focal app is free in the app stores right now with loads of new goodies for 25-26. There's the fixture ticker tool, very customizable. There's the gaming odds, including stuff like clean sheet and goal score probabilities. There's goal scorer odds, projected goal involvement, suspension tracker, live rank checker, bonus points, the best captains every week, articles written by me and loads more. We're adding new features for you all the time as well. Just search FPL Focal in the App Store or use the link in the description to install it. You can also access it from fpl.page in your browser. Trusted by over 200,000 FPL managers last season. So, Jonas Sand Labakk up first, FPL champion in the 2023-24 season, a really analytical manager. One interesting thing that you're going to notice with these champions is they've got really different approaches to the game, whether it's analytics or playing maximum upside of differentials, or even ignoring certain teams entirely. So, I think a really interesting takeaway from this video is there's no one prescribed way to win FPL. I make no mistake, you do need to get really lucky, but there's no one particular answer on how to win FPL. Jonas and I went for beers when he was over from Norway a few months ago, and he absolutely destroyed me at darts as well. He's annoyingly good at everything. So he's gone with Kelleher Williams, Virgil, Gabriel, Salah Palmer, and Dyer Rogers, Strand Larsen, Solanke and Låbakk. He's got a really strong bench. It's Valdemarson, Sarr, Kontra and Estev. Even 4 mil Valdemarson's a smart pick here. There is actually only 3 teams that have got a 4.5 mil keeper and a definitive 4 mil backup goalkeeper. It's Brentford, it's Leeds and it's West Ham. Leeds with Perry and Darlow and West Ham with Areola and Fotheringham. So if you have those combinations, you're guaranteed a keeper, even if the first choice keeper gets injured. Whereas let's say if you've got Sanchez and a 4 mil non-playing goalkeeper, if Sanchez gets injured, you're forced to spend a transfer in goal. Keeper injuries are rare in fairness, but it is a consideration. Jonas also shared some thoughts with us. He said, Cunha and Mbeumo are potentially worse assets after their transfer, so they're a wait and see for me. And likewise for Frimpong, as his minutes are too unstable, but despite that I see he's highly owned. Palmer had a great Club World Cup and he's got good fixtures early on. I wouldn't be too worried about his poor form at the end of last season. Welbeck should be nailed to begin with and should be on penalties for Brighton. Williams and Forest I am unsure about though. They massively overperformed last season, but Williams will be attacking and he's one of the best fullbacks for defensive contributions if I recall correctly. Gabriel and Van Dijk will both be nailed for the 2 best defensive teams in the league, though I am monitoring Gabriel and Solanke's injuries. Gabriel and Van Dijk probably aren't going to be the best DEFCON picks for points, but they'll still get enough over the season, plus they offer corner threat. And lastly he said, I don't like all the new changes generally, especially the extra AFCON transfers. Yeah, he's done his homework on defensive contributions and he's got Sarr on his bench, which is quite a different approach to what you see elsewhere. And I don't hate it at all. Sarr's only 2% owned and he blows the other 6.5 mil mids out of the water in terms of underlying stats last season. 17.6 XGI, which only Salah, Palmer, and Mbeumo and Bruno can beat among midfielders. Mitoma's next closest at 6.5 mil with 13.2 expected goal involvement. It's a valid strategy to load your team out of penalty takers. In fact, fun fact for you, on average a penalty is awarded roughly every 3.5 matches. So yeah, the more you've got in your team, the more likely you are to get those extra points. About 75% of penalties are converted. So he's got potentially 6 penalty takers in his squad here. I'll agree with Jonas as well actually on the AFCON transfers. In case you missed it, basically when the Game Week 15 deadline passes later in the season, we're all going to be topped up to 5 free transfers to help navigate AFCON. But there's really not many notable FPL assets going. Obviously the main one is Salah of course, but yeah, in past seasons those that were good planners were rewarded by being ready for it, but now anyone can deal with it. That said, if you are smart with those 5 free transfers in other areas that you could spend them, then that'll be an advantage still. Perhaps we'll only have like Salah needs selling, so you know, if you have 1 free transfer, use that to sell Salah, you carry 5 forwards, you can use those elsewhere for basically an extra wildcard, while perhaps less engaged managers might go wasting them like a wildcard. But yeah, let's see how it all plays out anyway. Next year, of course, there's no AFCON, so this could be a one-off thing anyway. Amazing team for Jonas, and I look forward to the darts rematch next season. Simon March up next, FPL World Champion in 2014-15. He's played FPL for many years and he's got loads of top finishes. 5 top 10Ks, 7 top 100Ks. And he's gone with Sells, Colwell, Vardy, Wan-Bissaka, Kudu, Salah, Palmer, Rogers, Wood, Watkins and João Pedro. And on the bench he's got Moore, Concert, Estevan, Ramsey. This really underlines how well priced players are this season. It's a completely different backline to Jonas's and keeper as well. Last season, lots of us just went for Gabriel and Trent as staples in defence, but it's quite opaque this season, isn't it? He's also opted for the Salah and Palmer premium duo. The question is, have any of the former champs not gone Salah? More on that in a minute. Simon said the following as well. I always look at the opening 6 or so game weeks as a mini game in itself, with the goal being to build some momentum and avoid giving myself a mountain to climb. Ideally, I can also end that period with some transfers in the bank to help attack the next phase of the season. With this in mind, I've picked largely nailed on Premier League proven players with good opening fixtures and a balance of prices in defence, midfield and attack to help make future transfers easier, particularly if a player I don't own explodes or a player that I do own flops. I've also tried to cover the likely highest ownership captaincy options in Salah and Palmer, but I'm willing to switch if another premium option emerges. Not everyone likes the safety first approach, but in my opinion, there's more to lose than there is to gain when it comes to high EO players early on, so it makes sense to try and neutralise the threat and look for an advantage elsewhere if possible. If you're not familiar with what EO is, that stands for effective ownership, and it basically factors in captaincy with players. So let's say that, about 50-60% own Salah. Let's say they all captain him, then he gets double the ownership, so 50% becomes 100 because the points are worth double. So what you can do is pick the high EO players, so then you're not exposed to big rank swings. Whereas, other managers would just look for players that are lower EO to look for more volatile rank swings. Both are valid approaches, but some people like to ride the template, so to speak, like Simon's saying he does early on. Anyway, if Solanke is still a doubt for Game Week 1, then yeah, Wood is firmly my thinking as well. He could even be a better pick, honestly. Like, he was ridiculously clinical last season, wasn't he? And the fixtures are decent this season. He's on pens, and they've kept Gibbs White now. 7.5 mil, maybe 0.5 mil cheaper than I expected for him. Simon has played the Game Week 1 fixtures really nicely here. Like, there are some awkward fixtures. Like, you've got Bruno facing Arsenal, you've got Sarr against Chelsea, Strand Larsen's got City, Kluivert, Semenyo, Evan Nilsson have got Liverpool. It's another 3-4-3 as well. It's the first time I've seen Colwell in any drafts, in fact. He's probably the most nailed of all Chelsea defenders. Cucurella is probably safe as well, but they have signed Hato just now. But yeah, Cucurella is 1 mil more expensive as well. Fantastic team from the former champ. Joshua Ball up next, the Bulldozers as he calls his team. He's a mathematician, he's got a degree at Oxford University and lectureship. And he even did a presentation, in fact, on how maths can tell us how to win FPL. I'll link that in the description. Josh said, hey, I've not put a lot of thought into this at all, so it's very first drafty still. Most likely to depart is Marmoush. He's coverage for some really good price points. The draft is inspired by Mark Yu to Sunderland, which lets me spend nothing up front, and that's the way I like it. Yeah, there is a definite trend that midfielders score the most points in FPL on average, so he's evidently a big believer in that, and therefore that's where he spends his money. He's got some funds balanced at the back as well. He's got 2 6-mil defenders and a 5.5-mil defender. Tarkowski is tailor-made for defensive contribution points. Remember, a defender needs 10 in a game to get those 2 extra points. Just yesterday, Scout added the last 7 seasons of defensive contribution points to the members area, and the first thing I did was to go and have a look at the trends beyond 24-25. What happened before that? Tarkowski leapt out, so he averaged 10.97 per 90 last year, and then 9.45, then 9.89, and then 10.34. So he's averaging just over 10 per game. There's a link below to become a Scout member. You get 47% off of that link as well. Anyway, who am I to question the champ, right? The bench, in my opinion, is too light for my liking. Halescu does end up a nailed starter for Sunderland, but there's a very good chance that he's an impact sub more often than not, so don't plan to start him in your teams. Martinelli's another name I've not seen in any drafts. He started to look really good towards the end of last season, and in the last pre-season friendly, Trossard was subbed on and immediately back off injured. If he is injured for Game Week 1 or even sold, then Martinelli's a mega differential. There is of course that risk of Madueke eating away his minutes though. He can play either side. Saka also went down injured, but it looked like a dead leg, that one. And last up, Ben Crabtree, a completely different and very unique FPL playstyle. Some of you know his story. For the rest of you, get ready to have your mind blown. Ben's an Everton fan and he's never picked a Liverpool player before. He doesn't care for Salah's record-breaking point scores, Trent's record-breaking assist tallies in Premier League history. He won the whole thing not owning a Liverpool player in 2016-17. Now that said, Liverpool were a very different team in terms of their quality then. Interestingly, you can actually see in his rank history exactly when Liverpool started to become a real force again. He had a bunch of top 100k finishes, including a top 1k and a top 10k finish, and then he won it all. And then of course Salah and Liverpool's revolution happened, so to speak. He's gone with Areola, Aït-Nouri, O'Brien, Wan-Bissaka, Saka, Palmer, Rodgers, Cunha, Solanke, Watkins and Gyökeres. He's got Kinski, Hall, Baleba and Esteve on his bench. The most surprising thing for me is it's no Haaland despite no Salah. Instead he's spread the money around all positions basically, which of course can work. He's really going to need Palmer and Saka in particular to deliver as captains without the big hitters. Which also leaps out to me, he's not gone for the very popular and Ndiaye pick, even though he's an Everton fan. O'Brien, his only Everton pick in fact. Beto of course hit a great patch of form last season up top, but they have signed Barry. Ben's not afraid of new signings at all, which is really interesting because that's the complete opposite to what Simon March just told us about his playstyle. They're often high risk, high reward picks, obviously. He's got Cunha, he's got Gyökeres and he's got Aït-Nouri in his team. It's very common for new signings to need time to adjust to the new team, new life, new culture and so on, but there's plenty of cases of them hitting the ground running. And there is a risk, of course, that Gyökeres might not even start in Game Week 1. He could come off the bench against Man United. But he does have Leeds home in Game Week 2. Imagine if he starts that fixture. You don't want to book in a transfer that quickly to buy him either. The aim should always be to roll in FPL. I've got massive respect for Ben for having his own play style that he's created for himself and never deviating from that. Tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing my new FPL team with you, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss it. It's completely free and you can always change your mind. And don't forget to install the FPL Focal app as well, that's also free. There's 2 weeks until the season begins, after which point more widgets on the app and website will start working as well. See you soon for the next one.